Despite being an aspect most associated with jiu-jitsu, chokes carry risks even outside of the expected blood flow restriction and eventual unconsciousness. In this video, we look at one of the worst offenders of unintended injury, the guillotine. This video is brought to you by InTheory BJJ, concept-driven jiu-jitsu. For access to all of my content, seminars, monthly webinars and Q&A sessions, please visit www.InTheoryBJJ.com. All of this is possible thanks to you. The Honest Submission series is my attempt at looking at our end goals in jiu-jitsu and trying to make things just a little safer for all of us. I am not a medical professional, so please do not take all of this as such. Although I did work as a basic EMT within my time at the fire service, so understanding damage to the neck, spine and limbs was kind of required to keep people alive. A couple of things can happen when you wrap your arm around your opponent's neck, depending on your accuracy. You can deliver the perfect choke, where you create a V in front of their windpipe and put pressure directly into the corners, affecting their blood flow and causing a blackout. If you go too short, you end up putting pressure directly across their trachea and esophagus, which can cause issues with breathing or swallowing, even causing fractures to the cartilage supporting these structures. Or you can end up bridging back, overly bending the neck and causing a hyperflexion of the neck, damaging the muscles around and potentially the spine itself. When applying a guillotine, I do need to break the posture of the neck down to keep them vulnerable to applying a choke, but this is the limit on how much flexion I'm going to put the neck through. The depth of my arm is relative to how much space I have available at my side. If I am more straight on with my opponent, that will cause my arm to be a lot shorter and run the risk of falling across the windpipe. If I can create space, this will allow my arm to go around deeper and get that V in front of the neck with my elbow. If you compare this to the bulldog choke, which is essentially the same choke but from a different angle, if I can get my arm deep enough and get that V of the elbow in front of his neck, I am essentially creating the same as a rear naked choke. To keep the other person in the intended position and keep the V in front of their neck, I need to make sure they don't jump over and get their legs and body to the opposite side to where their head is. This will move the V to the back of their neck, completely missing the landing spot for my choke and potentially setting me up for a Von Flue choke. The dangerous part of this technique comes from the flexion of the neck. Many years ago, head outside single legs were banned within jiu-jitsu for white belts, simply because in regular wrestling, people won't just grab your neck and jump backwards. They can and will in jiu-jitsu, and people were suffering life-changing injuries because of this. If I fall back whilst holding onto the head, I run the risk of overly bending his neck, potentially damaging his neck muscles and spine. With extra speed and loss of control, this could cause a life-changing injury. That is why when applying this technique, I want to do my best limiting any extra bending of the neck and work on my accuracy. As with all chokes, the effort required is enough to close 2 straws. Anything more and you're obviously missing something. Focus on your accuracy with this choke, making sure you are missing the center of the neck and only attacking the corners where you would feel a pulse. Do not jump on this from standing, and limit neck flexion when applying from guard. Once they have your neck, your options are very limited. Protect yourself by making sure everyone in your gym respects the neck and understands the risks from doing this type of choke. Otherwise, tap early and tap often.